you guys are having a good one. There we go. Because we had a live mic before I was ready to do all that. Throwing my trash away in here. Crinkle, 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 crinkle. All right, new book. New book is called Shadow and Smoke. You can grab it right now. I'll also link the whole 3-book series, the Moonsong series. So you can grab that if you so desire and enjoy that. It's basically high fantasy, but with pirates. I kind of call this one like the pirate trilogy. It's like the pirate books because, the main characters are dealing with pirates and allied with pirates pretty much the whole time. So it's a lot of fun. Seems like I made people wait way too long for book 3, but I had to do a lot of editing for it. So you can grab that. Now, 2 other things that are out right now. Let me go ahead and get those linked here. Pulp Rock. Okay. So you can grab that one too. This is a collection. I have a novella in it, like one of these 2-hour books that I put out. So there's basically a full book of mine in here that you can grab. So it's a good deal. Plus there's a bunch of other stories by other authors, some that I've had on the show, some that I haven't. I'm slowly working my way through this. I just haven't had a lot of time to read lately, but you can get it. That's the physical edition. Looks like that. So please check that out and enjoy my friends writing stories too. Last one is a free one, edited by J.D. Cowan, who had conversations with on Twitter. And basically this book, which is called Generation Y, is a lot of back and forth between me and him and Brian Niemeyer on our age cohort. Those of us who were born in the 80s, late 70s to, say, late 80s, and how that age cohort is different and what kind of defines that age cohort, the problems of that age cohort, specifically the materialism, the nostalgia, the focus on things from our childhood because of all the radical change that happened during adulthood and things like that. We're a generation that was born and raised without the internet. We knew the internet as teenagers. We saw the pre-social media internet, the post-social media internet. We remember what it was like to fly before 9/11. And after 9/11, we remember a state of peace, as well as 20 years of war, as well as the Cold War. So we've had all those different periods in our age cohort. And anyway, that book defines a lot of those things that really define the experience of my generation. So you can check that out. That one's free. So check that one out and give it a read. It's got one of my favorite stories that I've written is at the end of the book. It's called Middlebury. There's an audiobook of it here on YouTube that you can just listen to if you want to. And one of the reasons that I like that story is that it goes in such a weird direction when you get to the end. So when you get to the end, you're going to hopefully have some fun surprises about just what kind of story it is. As some people have called it a schizophrenia simulator, and I kind of like that, and that's one of the things that I go for with some of my books is kind of a descent into madness. Thank you for the compliment, CW. I'm glad you like the music. I wish I had more time to do it over the last year, really. I thought I'd have a lot more time to do music, but my life has been just really packed with a bunch of other little things that when your life has a lot of things, you kind of have to focus more and think about what's really important. And so that for me has been focusing a little bit more on getting books out. In fact, I just finished designing another cover for another book that will come out, and I'm not going to set a release date for that book, even though I really just have to proofread it. I've already done all the editing work. I just have to kind of proofread it for typos and stuff. Because I want to line that up with the third Eternal Dream book. So those two will come out kind of close to each other because they have a little bit of something to do with each other. As do all of my books, have a lot of interrelated little details with them. So that one's coming later this year for sure, and I'm excited about that. I was designing the cover last night, or maybe it was, I think it was last night, maybe the night before. And I'm just, I'm working on my standard stuff, and my wife comes in, she goes, I haven't seen this book. I'm like, yeah, this is a book I wrote around the time of the 2020 election and just kind of chose not to put out because it's a tragedy and it just, It didn't feel like a good time to put it out. And looking back, it was probably wise. I can usually tell how the market's doing based on how my back catalog performs. And like after the 2020 election, back catalog did very poorly. And I guess I was not the only author that had that. Back catalog did pretty poorly for a while. And I know that things start to pick up and people are consuming things again when when my back catalog picks up. So if I release a new book, I can expect some sales on it because I'm focusing on that. I'm advertising it. I'm promoting it on the channel or on social media and doing a bunch of things to kind of plug that book. The back catalog, that's the stuff that I'm not actively plugging. If the sales of that start to go up, then I know that like the market, Amazon in general is selling a lot of books, and mine are kind of getting caught up in that. People are going back and reading Muramasa a lot and things like that. So I feel like the market's recovering, which is really the first book that I published, Muramasa Blood Drinker. So people go back and read that one. Then I know things are doing pretty good. People go back and they're reading Needle Ash and stuff like that, and I know things are doing pretty good. What are your thoughts on Brandon Sanderson's new crowdfunding campaign? I really don't know. I don't know all the details of it, but it's good. It should open a lot of people's eyes that you don't really need trad publishing to make a lot of money. And if you're someone like Brandon Sanderson, Brandon really carries Tor. Him and Robert Jordan and a couple of other older listing of authors, like authors that are established from the 80s and 90s, really carry Tor. And Tor doesn't sell all that well, most of its new stuff, if it's not Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson has a very dedicated fan base. He's very good to his fans. He takes time to interact with them, and in person, he does like book signing tours. I'm not in a place where I can do like book signing tours because you have to already have a large fan base. So anyway, it's very good, and it should wake a lot of people up to the idea that you need this traditional publisher to have widespread success. Now, I'll temper that with the fact that he already had all of the things that built his brand over the last 20 years, right? He already had books that were published through mainstream publishers in bookstores that also caught in nerd circles and became really big. He finished The Wheel of Time, the biggest fantasy series, let's say the biggest post-Tolkien, pre-Harry Potter fantasy series, right? It's like the biggest 90s fantasy series was Wheel of Time. And so he finished that. That's a big feather in his cap, and he did a great job with that. By the way, I actually think they're some of the best books in the series are the ones that he finished for Robert Jordan. Because those middle books are, I don't know. I can't talk about Wheel of Time without mentioning that I don't like the middle books, and I think they're not very good. But Sanderson definitely does a good job with those later books. So he has all these other things that help build his brand. And at a certain point, you don't need to be earning like 10% with, he probably might earn more than that. You don't have to earn small amounts of money with a traditional publisher in order to continue the brand. You could just go independent. And there's a lot of musical artists that have done that recently as well. Megadeth, for the most part, like publishes its own music and has a distribution deal with like a major publisher to just put the CDs in stores. But you get to control more of your product once you have that success. So once you get there, it's really easy to maintain that and to build on that and to have a huge crowdfunding campaign. So as people see, it says, Hardbook says it's 27 mil. That's a lot of money, right? Now, keep in mind that this is a lot of things people who've never done crowdfunding or don't know the ins and outs of it. They see that big number and they think, well, Brandon earned 27 mil. Well, no, because it's going to cost millions to fulfill that. Now, he will have a really great payday. Don't make a mistake. But keep in mind, if somebody like buys, say on the crowd, I don't have the crowdfund page here for that, but if somebody buys a set of hardbacks for $140, right? Like, I don't know, a full set of them. Wow, it's not like he earned $140 free and clear. You still have to print the books and ship them, and so there's a cost associated with fulfillment as well as time. So hopefully, and with the money this much, it'd be pretty easy to hire other people to do all the fulfillment. And really, Brandon just has to worry about, like, I'm going to write the books and like hire the people to do the things. Hire the proofreaders and editors and hire the cover designers and the interior design. Just hire everybody to do everything, and then hire a company to print them and mail them out, and things like that. he'll still make a really good payday. It just really is like the total value of what he's producing is $27 million. There's $27 million worth of interest, which is a lot. That's a lot of money for just novels. Keep in mind, we live in an era where a best-selling book, like you can hit number one on actual bestseller lists, not just Amazon, selling 5,000 copies, which is not that many when you think about it. It's just not. It's not that many, right? So yeah, you got to keep that in mind. That it's not going to be tweeted like he's going to have. Oh, well, now you could buy Mike Tyson's old house or something like that. You still have to fulfill it, and there's a lot that goes. And some things cost more to fulfill than others. And the other problem with crowdfunding, one of the reasons I don't do it, is that you're basically giving yourself more work for less money if you don't set it up correctly. If you're not blowing the doors off of what you're doing, you can easily end up giving yourself more work. So like if you have stretch goals, each stretch goal, which encourages people to buy in because they get extra stuff, basically decreases your profit margin, right? Like let's say I was going to have let's say I was going to crowdfund like some illustrated versions of Eternal Dream books, which is something I've really considered. This is a way I've had Jesse White on the show a couple times, and I've been on his show. He's a great artist. You can see that's one of his drawings right there. That's an original. Let me see if I can focus on it so you guys can really see it. Where's my camera controls? Let's see here. Let's see if you can see it back there. No, this is going closer. Well, I don't know. That's the best I can do. That's the best I can do right there. Okay, so that's Jesse's back there. And it's really good. I would love to hire him to illustrate the whole 3-book thing and doing it good hardback stuff and stuff like that. But if you start creating stretch goals, okay, well, we're going to have a stretch goal that is, everybody's going to get the trilogy for $80, let's say. Let's just say it's going to be $80. I don't know. It's probably wouldn't charge that much. Well, if we have a stretch goal that's at this goal, we're going to have 5 extra illustrations. Well, I'm paying Jesse for those extra 5 illustrations, which means the margin that I make on those books goes lower and lower and lower and lower. So each time you reach a stretch goal, it costs you more time and money to fulfill that stretch goal, which means you're paying yourself less and less and less. So the more success you have with stretch goals, the less profit you make per unit. And that's, people forget that when they look at the total amount. I crowdfunded thousands of dollars, but the margin on that starts to get less and less and less as you start adding different things without a significant upcharge on what those things are. So just keep that in mind. It's a really good thing. It should encourage people. That doesn't mean you're going to be able to do 27 mil on a crowdfund, because you have to have. Brandon Sanderson has 20 years worth of established track record and a huge fan base that he can tap into to do something like that and to kind of step out there and be independent. Other people who are functioning independently, you got to find other ways to build that fan base. You can't just write books and get the fan base. Unfortunately, that's not realistic, even if you're going traditional publishing. And that would be the big benefit that people like to think about is, oh, well, if I get a trad publisher, that means that I can really focus my time and energy on just writing books. It's not quite, not quite. You're going to have to find some other way to reach your audience, making content, or just, you're going to have to think outside the box in 2020s here, because trad publishing really is dying, and there's not a lot of ways to grab people's attention in bookstores and things like that. You have to really, you have to find some other way to attract attention to yourself. Anyway, that's my whole spiel on that. What are your thoughts out on current gas prices here in California? Well, I still, I drove my kids. My house was being painted this last 2 weeks, and boy, that's been a nightmare as far as just logistics. Our kitchen was being painted, so I couldn't make my kids breakfast. Took them to McDonald's. That was a mistake for my stomach, but anyway, we got some McDonald's, and I hop in the car and I'm at a quarter tank. I'm like, I really need to get some gas. And all the gas stations are $6 a gallon. Now, $6 a gallon, I live in the Central Valley. $6 a gallon is going to be the cheapest gas pretty much in the state of California. Unless you're, pretty much it's going to be the cheapest gas. It's going to be here. Which means in San Francisco, it's probably $7 or $8 a gallon. It's a lot of money, man. I'm like, I'm going to wait. Now I have some gas for my generator sitting around, but it's kind of old. It's like older than 6 months. So what I may do is like put a little bit of that gas into the tanks of my cars a little bit at a time to kind of burn it up, because it loses some of its effectiveness. But if you mix it in just a little bit, then it doesn't really hurt your engine or anything. So I might do that just to kind of, let's see if we can get it to just dip a little bit, just like get back down to $5, and then I'll fill my tanks back up. It cost me $100 to fill my truck up the other week, and I was like, and I got to drive. I'm looking at, one of these moving expenses because I'm going to move to Houston area is the plan. I got to drive my truck there, and I got to tow a trailer, which means I got to pay. I'm going to be paying like out the nose for gas just to haul stuff there. And I'll have to haul a car. I think what we're going to do is we're going to haul my other car. I'm going to pull my car with my truck, and then my wife will fly there with the kids so that we don't have like 3 days of car trip with a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, 12 hours a day. That wouldn't be very pleasant. I mean, you could do it. If that was your only option, you could do it. But I don't know. I'll put the car, you can get like a little tow thing to tow a car. You just pull the car up on it from U-Haul, and then you just tow it there. It'll be fine. Let's see here. What else is here? Have you or any of your peers spearheaded a 3D animation or game with one of your IPs? I have not. Hired a group of programmers and 2D, 3D artists with something like a commission and sale contract. I have not. And I'm not. The reason I don't do it is it's money. It's a money thing, right? You got to pay people. People need to eat. People got to work and eat. And when you look at it, it's like, what's my business? Is your business the IP, or is your business the book? And I was having a conversation with my wife about this, and she's like, I know you like doing YouTube. Some people do YouTube. I was like, man, some people do YouTube and they're just really focused on trying to make viral videos all the time. And, eventually you'll hit that jackpot. And she's like, but do you want to spend your time making viral videos, or do you want to spend your time making art? It's like, well, I really want to spend my time making art. That's what I care about. Some people really care about making viral YouTube videos, right? So I don't want to spend my time managing an IP. I want to spend my time writing books. I would love to design games, but the game industry is kind of sucks. I have some experience working in the game industry a little bit as a writer, and people work really hard and don't get paid a lot of money for it. I would love to do more game design stuff this year, but like things are kind of chaotic, so I really need to again focus on the things that I can do the best and that matter the most for what I'm doing, which is going to be just trying to I have all these books that I haven't published, that are in various states of needing fixes and things like that. Then it's like, okay, I'll fix that later. I need to put them all out. I need to get more books out, right? At some point, I've lost count of how many books I put out. There's like 20 books out. I don't even remember. But it's going to be even more. My wife got sidetracked. My wife came in. You're working on this other book. It's like, didn't you just put out a book? It's like, yeah, but you have to keep going. You can't just be like, okay, I published a book. I can maybe take one night. I took one night and I played some video games, and it's like, back to work, man. Got to do the next thing. Next thing on the list, So no, I haven't done that. I'm not particularly interested in doing that because then I'm in a different business from what I want to be in. That's all time and effort that takes away from me putting out books. Once I put out a crap ton of books and I'm like, I can start developing, I can start thinking about this like a media empire or something. Maybe that's a couple years down the line, or, maybe next year or something like that, to really expand what I'm doing. If I do game design, I might do a visual novel, and I'll probably set it in like my fantasy universe, and then there'll be kind of some crosstalk there, and it'll be good. Is the way that untalented people like Ava DuVernay fail up a sort of neo-patronage? Rich elites give them money to keep making things even though the public doesn't buy it. That's an interesting way of thinking about it, and I don't think that that's wrong. It is kind of a patronage system, but the question is who's paying them, and really it comes at the expense of a corporation, not a person, right? So it's not like Michael Jones, the rich millionaire, pays this person to make comic books. It's there's a corporation that's established ostensibly to make profit is sacrificing its profits for its messaging. So that's kind of a little bit different to me than straight up patronage. Like the Crown Prince is paying me to write a symphony. It's a little bit different than that. It's more like stockholders are footing the bill for something that they would rather make money on. And that's kind of the problem with failing up. So it's different in that way. I guess you could look at it as patronage. It's a good perspective, but that's also why I would encourage people who don't like that to stop patronizing those people. Stop buying their books and buy something else. What are your thoughts on Starship Troopers? I have done a number of videos on Starship Troopers. So the Starship Troopers movie, to me, I didn't really like it when it first came out, and I only liked it after I read the book and realized that the Starship Troopers movie is a parody of the Starship Troopers book. And that, to me, makes it such a better movie and so much more fun to watch when you realize that it's a satire of its source material. That is to say, Paul Verhoeven really intensely disliked Starship Troopers. He was pressured to make a movie with that because it had this brand recognition. He thought the book was bad and had to have somebody tell him the story. He considered it unreadable. And so he made a movie that basically made fun of the book. And that's, I think, what makes the movie so much more interesting than just this kind of campy Paul Verhoeven action flick. It works just as a Paul Verhoeven movie, but it works much better when you realize it's a parody and that the propaganda is intended to be satirical war propaganda, and you kind of see through the comical layer that's on it that he's saying something that's rather grim about war, and he's also satirizing the source material. It's much more fun that way. Now, what do I have to say about this source book? Well, I think you should read it, but I actually don't think the source material is that good. It's when did it come out? When did Heinlein publish this? I don't remember. 1959. So in 1959, I think it's really interesting to look at as a product of late 50s conservative thought. Now, Heinlein became very libertarian and libertine with his messaging in the books as time went on. And I think Starship Troopers is not a very good story. People like it because of the ideas that are in it. Now, the ideas that are in it resonate a little bit today. I think they're much more interesting to look at in the context of the 1950s because, as Michael Moorcock put it, he called it Starship Stormtroopers, and considered it like a fascist ideological treatise, and it really is. It is highly fascistic in the sense of classical what fascism is, like Italian fascism, not Nazism. Nazis bad. I'm going to call everybody fascist. No, it really does. It really is heavily influenced by that. Paul Verhoeven, when he made the movie, and keep in mind, Paul Verhoeven was in a concentration camp. So he's a Holocaust victim on one level, right? He was in a concentration camp. Not just Jews were in concentration camps, by the way. My wife's grandfather was in a concentration camp. And he was a Christian. So lots of people were put in forced labor slave camps, right? Not just Jews. I just want to point that out. Jews are not the only people that were victimized by the National Socialist regime. Anyway, he really thought it was fascistic, so he put made all the military uniforms black like Nazi uniforms. He made them reference Nazi uniforms very explicitly to say like this is a fascist way of thinking. So the ideas that are in that 1959 book are very much kind of a product of 1959. 30 years of government intervention in welfare, and kind of what that brought about was people that were dependent on the government, kind of infantile, things like that. So if we think about it realistically, having the solution, that solution may have been relevant in 1959. It's certainly not relevant in 2022. Think about post-COVID, where you don't have the ability to participate in the political machine unless you have served the government directly. So it's an automatic filter. Unless you have bought into the regime in power and participated in the war making that the regime does, you actually don't get any rights as a citizen. You have to have already bought into what they're doing. You have to already participate and believe in the moral virtue of the military before you can participate in the political process. That in itself should be disturbing to anyone, especially after 20 years of war in the Middle East, after the end of the Afghanistan war, what's going on right now in the world. It should be disturbing to anyone that suffered through 2 to 3 years of COVID restrictions that have done nothing, right? That you have to buy into, you have to do what the regime tells you to do in order to have rights. You have to be part of the war machine to have any rights, any ability to control the political process. That means if you have a perfectly just and good government, then that doesn't matter. We don't have a just and good government now, though. We have an evil and corrupt government. So you have to be part of the evil or corrupt government in order to change the evil or corrupt government. Why would you do that? You're already having to do something immoral in order to gain access to that. So yeah, that it's very appealing from a 1959 perspective, and it's appealing today unless you stop and you take a step back and you think about what has been done to you over the last 20 years, and especially what's been done to you over the last 2 to 3 years. Then I think the solutions that are presented in the book are much less appealing. Now, there's other things about the book that are influential. Power armor. People focus on the power armor. I think Heinlein didn't think as much about that as he did about the political ideas. It's not that good of a story. There's not really a plot. Things are kind of told out of order. It's kind of like a Rand novel in that there's these long dialogues that are explaining the philosophy of the world and those sorts of things and kind of challenging the reader to think. So I don't really enjoy it as a novel, but I think it's very interesting as a book, even though I don't think it's a well-written story. And I think it's worth people checking out. And if you can't stand it, oh well. You can always close the book if you find it unreadable, like Paul Verhoeven did. So anyway, I think the movie is a lot more interesting if you look at it in the context of it being a satire of the book. I think the book deserves to be satire on some level. Do you think it's a good idea to come up with a brand name and logo to put on self-published books? Yes, I do it. BVS Press. That's my blog title. It's my brand. It's part of my brand. Originally, my idea was to expand that and publish other people. I don't think I'm going to do that because that's publishing other people's a whole nother kind of can of worms. But if I do pen names, I could always do, I had this idea of different, I could have 20 pen names because I'd be writing in all these different genres. But yeah, it's not a bad idea. 1959. Thank you. Sorry, me. I saw that Epic Games bought Bandcamp. I saw that too, yes. Will that do anything for independent artists for good or bad? Okay, so this is a great question. I have no idea why they bought it and what they plan to do with it at all. And I don't know if it's good or bad. My instinct is to say it's probably going to be something good. I know corporate buyouts don't really seem good. But you have to think about the fact that Epic is a large enough force that it could penetrate the Bandcamp idea into spheres that haven't used it yet. Maybe people, when they buy a game, they could get the soundtrack on Bandcamp as a deal. So then it gets more people to funnel into Bandcamp and start buying music again. Whatever can get people onto the platform to find more independent artists and find more music that they like and buy those high quality files and buy I bought so much stuff from Bandcamp that has been great. I bought Eternal Champion stuff. I bought stuff from Shores of Null, one of my favorite doom metal bands from Rome. And, it's I can put in an order with them and talk to them and they'll mail a shirt to me in the United States. And that's great, it's just really cool. It's really cool that I could buy stuff that way. And then I get the digital files and I can just listen to them there or have them on my computer, put them on my iPod or something like that. It's just great. I think it's a great site. You can find my music on it. I'll just link it here, salonline.bandcamp.com. So my instinct is it could be good. It could be a way to expand patronage and independent buying of things, and I like the idea of that. I know you just put out a new book, but what do you think is the timeline of Eternal Dream 3 coming up? Probably... I got to look at my stuff. I am so busy over the next couple months. My goal, now that I finished this, kind of wrapped up this kind of packaging of this. This is actually the Eternal Dream Legends is what I'm going to put out first. It's called Delenia and Deruso, and it's a kind of a tragic operatic thing, kind of like Tristan and Isolde or Dido and Aeneas. It's like that. It's so this is the story of it. Then in this third book, they're watching the opera telling that story. It's just weird. It's kind of weird on a meta level, but I like paused in one of my drafts and like, I'm going to go write this book because I'm interested in this story. I got to strike while the iron's hot. Came back. So my goal is to finish that draft. Let me think. I need to set a goal. This is the 12th. Let me think what's going on. Next weekend, I'll be here. Weekend after next, I won't be here. I'll be in LA, so I probably won't stream. I'm going to take my kids to Disneyland one last time, I think. April. Let me get my phone has all this stuff. I got to drive to Texas in April. I'm going to haul all my guitars and stuff ahead of the move. I'm just going to say my goal is to finish the draft by May. And then I'll prep all of the publication stuff and we'll put out these 2 books. Bang, bang. We'll put them out at the end of May and into June. And I'll be moving in June. So this crap is going to come out while I'm moving. This is a terrible way to do it, but I just... That way I'm going to set it all up ahead of time, and then it's just like I could focus on the move and not have this book hanging over my head. So I really need to put it out before I move. That way it's like it's done. So I'm going to say June for Eternal Dream 3. I have a new question about book publishing. If you commission an artist for a book cover, is the artist entitled to royalties from the sales? No. The answer is no. It's a work for hire. Now, they have the copyright of the image that they've made, but you can work it out with a contract. But yeah, basically, you're free to use that for your cover indefinitely, unless they say otherwise, unless they specify some other kind of licensing agreement. In some cases, you can license an image from an artist and it only lasts for so many years before the license expires or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, they will not be entitled to book royalties unless you somehow work that out with them, like that they get 1%. And good luck figuring that out. So no, usually it's just flat rate. However many dollars, $200, $500 to do the art, and then the art's done and you're going to use it for that book cover forever. And any merchandise. If you're drafting up a contract, you want to say that you have the licensing rights to use it in the context of the book cover for merchandise, for books, all varieties of books and things like that. And otherwise the artist reserves all rights to use it and to publish it or things like that. In other words, he can put it on his website and stuff like that and doesn't need permission for that. If you need to draft up a contract like that, I can't really help you, but I'm sure that other people can. What about having a logo to put on the spine, for example, and maybe publishing both one's own books and some public domain works with it? Yeah, I've kind of had that idea with DVS Press. I think you're talking exactly about what my idea was. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I kind of thought about setting some public domain works that have kind of fallen out of the wayside and just don't really have a good binding. They don't have a good typesetting that's out there that people can buy a physical copy of. And just putting out some of that stuff, like some 19th century stuff that's a little harder to find, that I just don't think that there's good versions of it out. You can just do a print on demand book on Amazon and just sell that public domain work and generate a little passive income with that too. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's good. Yeah, anyway, so that's what's going on. Boy, I've talked for a long time about all this stuff. Hopefully it answers all your questions. I meant to just jump in and start playing games right away, but let's get to it. Let's see if we can. Here we go. Here we go. Ba-bum. All right. Oops. We're going into Narsh now. I'm going to turn down this light. I think actually, can I just point it that way? That makes it there. Perfect. I'll point this one kind of that way. Point that one that way. That's fine. I'm using like low wattage bulbs now because it's way more comfortable to do this kind of thing with. What are you doing here? Doesn't matter, really. Nothing's left anyway. There's only one Moogle still around, and only a treasure hunter could pick that lock. Alright. We have lock, aka key. I think this refills here. Magic here. Discovered my favorite modern day band, the rockabilly band, the Millwinders, on Bandcamp. Oh, that's cool. I like rockabilly. I played in a rockabilly band years ago. Enjoyed it. All right. Steel. Suplex. Played through all the God of War games, and I'm finally playing God of War 4 for the first time. Thus far, I've liked it. I think it's a good game. I've been playing Shadow Warrior 3, which I actually got as part of like PS Now. And people are like, oh, PS Now, I can't believe you paid money for that. I got a subscription for like $12 or something. I don't remember, it was cheap. So I've been playing that lately. It's been kind of fun, but I kind of miss classic level design. It's basically... I ran a weapon shop for 70 years. This stone gives off an eerie aura. If I melted it and forged a sword, it'd be powerful. Leave the stone. Make the sword. I'm not sure which one I should do. What do you think? Alright, I think we want the... stone. I don't think we want the sword because I think it gives you. I think you can learn a really powerful spell that way. Like Ultima. I think Ultima. Let's see. Espers. Have we learned everything here? Yeah. Watch. Let's look down here. Here it is. Ragnarok. Turn an enemy into an item. Okay. Ultima. There we go. Ultima! I saw the Batman last Friday and enjoyed it. Still prefer the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Now we'll do the spell. Oh, we can rest. Fun. Ultima. Ooh. Test Rider. I was just looking this up. Apparently, you can get a shield that teaches Ultima over here somewhere. Nastidian. Ooh. It's almost 3 hours. The Batman. Anyone in here? It's not. I think there's another guy in here somewhere. In here? Armor shop. Yeah, I think there's a guy who gives you the Cursed Shield, and if you do a bunch of battles with it, then it becomes a Paladin Shield and will just teach you Ultima. Kratos is so different in God of War 3 than he was in the previous games, yeah. Now, he's centuries older in 4 than 3. I have the game, but I haven't really played it. One of those games I just, I guess I just didn't get around to it. So many games to play. But yeah, I've been playing Shadow Warrior 3, which has been kind of fun. It's basically corridors and then arenas. So if that's what you're into, that's what you get with that game. Like, you do some very basic platforming. And then there's like an arena where there's a bunch of enemies. And you have to fight those. And that's it. That's the game. There's a couple boss fights. I just finished this one of this giant chicken that was pretty freaking annoying. I remember, and 2 times I beat it, it like bugged out at the end, and I like it's this giant chicken monster. You kill the chicken monster. You kill the chicken monster, and then he splits in half, and you have to kill his separate halves. Then you have to do this platforming thing where you go up to the... You grapple up, and then you jump on these floating rocks, and then you have to like grapple his head at the top. Well, I had a couple times where I managed to finish this annoying fight, and then I get to the end, and the thing that you're supposed to grapple onto at the end isn't there. It like bugs out, and he's still on the ground. And so you can't finish the fight. You have to die and do it again. Do the whole fight again. Every single phase of it again. In your opinion, how good is Amazon at printing interior illustrations compared to traditional publishing? Very good. I would say it's very good, actually. And in fact, some of the books that I have covered on the channel, like the Robert E. Howard books, are actually print on demand. They're the same as Amazon, and they come out looking really good. So I'll give you a couple examples. I'll just show you what they look like real quick, because that's, it's a good question. You want to know what they look like. So I'm focusing mostly on black and white. I do have some examples of color. Let me find those real quick. Let's see. Yeah. Cool. I think I have that one sitting with me right now. I'm not sure what I did with it. So I have a print-on-demand comic that it's pretty good quality, but I'll show you this one. So I've covered this one on the channel. This one has like pen and ink drawings on it. So this is a print-on-demand book. It's the same paperback that you're going to get on Amazon, and the illustrations look really good on it. The DPI on the printer is very high for illustrations, but what you should know for black and white is they really need to be black and white, okay? They need to not be... I'll pull up the focus here. They need to... there we go. They need to be black and white like this. They need to not be gray. Now, the problem that people have is that they often don't put them in black and white. They just end up as gray, and so they don't look quite as good. I'll show you some of mine. Obviously, I print my maps. My maps look good. Here's a map. The maps look good. They're really crisp, but I make sure that they're black and white. They're not really gray. I do use grays, but you want to use grays sparingly. And you may want to use things that are called halftones. I don't need to get into that right now, because that's probably better left for someone who's a professional illustrator. So here's an illustration, right? I hired a friend to do this that I liked. I thought he was hungry and he would do a good job, and he did. He did some of these nice black and white illustrations. So they look good. For black and white, it looks really good. Yeah. And they're all print on demand, so it's the same You know, it's the same thing that you would use with Amazon. You can expect the same quality if you make the files the same quality. So make sure that you're not just like taking a picture of a paper drawing and then saying, well, that's good enough, because it probably won't be. Yeah, you don't want to do gray. You want to do black and white. I've gone over it before, but yeah, you don't want shades of gray unless you're using halftones. And halftones are like something you see in comics, like fields of dots. Technically, that's what the printer is doing on a very small scale when it... I'm still looking for something in here. I think there's another guy that gives you the shield. And we're going to find that real quick. The hardcover might not have been print on demand, but if you have the paperbacks, it's very high quality. Like I said, if you make it black and white, then you don't have to deal with any kind of halftone stuff. It'll print at your full like 600 DPI, no problem. The other thing is with Word documents, if you're going to do it as a Word document for the interior, which I don't recommend, you want to do PDF interiors. But if you were going to do a Word document for the interior, Word will usually downscale images to 200 DPI, which will still look okay, but is not optimal. You really want 300 DPI, 300 dots per inch. And the printer, when it's trying to print grays, it has a limited ability to do that because it's going to be trying to go to like 30,000 DPI, which is very, that's very high res, but it's not enough to get a bunch of different shades of gray like in real life. So just don't take a picture of pencil drawings and expect those to just look good. They probably won't. They'll probably look bad. How would you rate Final Fantasy VI's world building? I don't know. It's good. I like it though. 4 out of 5. It's not going to be as full as some modern games, but it's really good. I thought there was something up here. I don't know, I'm going to look up here. Yeah, don't take a picture of your pencil drawings and expect those to look good in print. They really won't. What's the best format to upload books in for printing? Print ready PDF. What's called print ready PDF. I'll tell you, you can make them for free using like PDF Creator, and they'll generally come out okay. But if you want it to look the best, if you want the best that's possible, you're probably going to have to go with. You're going to have to pay Adobe. Fonts, just some fonts will simply not embed correctly unless you are using Adobe's official PDF software. That's the reality. It's unfortunate. There are decent free alternatives like PDF Creator, but they will often not embed the fonts that you really like to embed. If you're only working with Times New Roman, it's fine. Or free fonts, but it won't embed like some Adobe fonts at all. It just won't embed them properly. So if you want the full, and then you can control how much compression you're putting on your JPEGs with the Adobe software, all that stuff is under your control, so you can get the file to be exactly correct with the quality of the images and the quality of the fonts that are in it. And I design all my interiors, by the way, with Microsoft Word. I don't use Adobe InDesign. You can use that if you want to. I think that's better left for something more complex like a comic book. I don't think you need... I think you have plenty of control in Microsoft Word to do exactly what you need to do. guy up here. I don't know why I'm stealing tonics. Like, tonics are worthless. I don't have Microsoft Word. You can try it with OpenOffice. I don't know how well OpenOffice works for some things, you know. It's up to you. Cough, take this. Cursed shield. If we could break its curse, imagine its defensive power. So it gives you all kinds of status ailments, but if you can use it through a bunch of fights, it turns into like a better shield that I think teaches ultimate. Let me see how. Oh, he's got Ragnarok. All right. Alright, yeah, we have everybody learn. Let's have everybody learn it. All right, there's one more Moogle here. Now we need to equip that cursed shield, because by the end of the game it's going to become like ridiculously good. Cursed shield. All right. Gives you all kinds of bad effects though. We should be fine. I have some tonics. Use up all the tonics we have. 5 million. Oh yeah, I have 1 million of those. Let's steal some more. For those old Final Fantasy games, do you think space limitations made for better storytelling? I don't think so. But I think there is something to be said for reining it in, you know. I think things start to get a little bloated. I mean, realistically, just in the PlayStation era, things start to get bloated. You know, Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 can be a bit bloated. Oh, look, what is he doing there? Oh my gosh, he's going crazy. It's quite the cursed shield there. I wonder if we could put on a relic that would like negate the confusion. Hilarious. Alright. Relics. What does he have on? What does the fairy ring do? Protects from all status elements. There we go. Let's see if that negates it. Do you think Blade Runner has a Luciferian worldview, explicitly draws parallels between Lucifer and Roy Batty, and has a creator figure, Tyrell, who's portrayed negatively? No, I don't really get Luciferian vibe from that movie at all. No, not really. Alright, well that works. Alright, so if you just give him the ribbon, then, like, the Cursed Shield isn't even all that bad. Not even that bad. Yeah, we're gonna turn this into the Paladin Shield, no problems. What's in here? Wait, that's not a door. Is this the Moogle Cave? It said there was a Moogle in here. Wizard! What is this Psychot? Mute. Mute. Ooh, I got a Thunder Rod. I haven't seen Alien Covenant, believe it or not. I actually liked Prometheus, though. Oh, these guys don't drop good stuff. Muddle. There we go. We got a fire rod in there too. Fire dance. Can you make a bit about borrowing story structure when writing novels at some point? I've done it before. I'm writing my first book and I can't figure out what that means exactly. So story structure just means like how your event sequence, basically the hierarchy of your event sequence. Like where are the big things happening in your story and why are they happening there? So if you're going to divide a book, say, into 5 equal parts, you're going to have something big happen at the end of each of those 5 parts. So what are the 5 big, or what are the 5 big things you want to happen, including the conclusion? You know, and then that's it. That's your story structure. It's like those things are going to happen in equidistant places. So, like, you know, Act 1 would be exposition. You're telling people how the story works and, you know, how the world works, and you're setting everything up. Can I not go this way? It's a little weird. No. Oops. I really got to kill these wizards. I don't remember. It's that. There it is. Airblade, that's a good one. like a standard 3-act structure would have an exposition. You'd have your first big plot point would be kind of making the conflict, like making the characters be like a point of no return on their conflict. The second big plot point would be like a failure to fix the problem, I guess. And then you'd have, conclusion. Ooh, fire 3. Actually, don't know if I'm going the right way. Here's the Moogle. Don't scare me like that. Can you talk? Human-loving, fast-talking, street-smart, slam-dancing Moogle. What are we gonna name him? Alright, chat, what are we naming him? Mog? Pog? You name him Pog. Anybody remember Pogs? Fluffy, Brony. I think we're gonna name him Pog. I like Pog. Brony. Mogom. I think I like Brony. Fluttershy is his favorite. Brony. That old psycho, Ramu, came to me in a dream and told me to be expecting you. And now, I'm gonna join your party! Say, we could use some Sasquatch muscle. Besides, he'd be helpless here without me. He's somewhere in the mines. Once we find him, I'll order him to join us. I think there's something hidden in the walls here. Over here? Oh, there it is. Moogle Charm. Oh, no more random encounters? Is that what the Moogle Charm does? That's going to be really useful for some things. For right now, we're going to try to make this this shield good, though. It's up this way. No, I just came from there, right? Is there another way out that I just don't remember? Only Mog can equip it? Hmm. I think we go to the... We go to the cave next? I don't remember. How about Kupo? Kupo? I'm always messing up the blitz input. There we go. I think we just leave this cave, right? I don't know how to get the... I'm not sure how to get the Yeti. I don't know if anyone knows. Go on! I think we go to the regular cave now. Let's find out. I don't remember if there's anywhere else we needed to go. I don't think there is. Before we go to the cave. We'll find out. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Make a save state here. probably a good idea. That's scary looking. Suplex. Kaboom! I think I'll do a review of Shadow Warrior 3 because there's a lot of interesting design things. It's a really beautiful game, but like everything's on rails. It's very on rails in between these little arenas, and I'm not sure if I like that design. I'm not sure if that's like a design I like or really dislike or anything. Oh, he's dead. Alright. Still have some Phoenix Downs. Actually, let's skills. We have some cure skills. Maybe some of his MP. I don't remember where all this stuff goes. Am I going the right way? We'll find out if I'm going the right way. Back attack. No! Look at this monster with like a wheel on his butt. It's kind of cool. Bolt Edge, ooh. I think these are weapons for Shadow, who I let die. Because I don't remember how to save him. I think you have to wait for him when the floating island is like falling down or something. Alright, that's how we kill him. Ah, Juno just learned a bunch of stuff. Mag Rotor. Ooh, we've almost learned Ultima. Almost starting Life 3. We need a new guy on him, apparently. Espers. What does he not have yet? Palador. And Fenrir? Alright, we'll do Palador. It's Mag Rotors. Water Edge. I think those are things for like throw ability. Wizard. So I've been trying to follow your advice on working on other projects after finishing a first draft, but I'm finding I get bored rather easily doing that. Well, if it doesn't work, you can always go back and try to edit your first draft and see what you might think could be improved. There's no like set rule. You don't have to do something different, but you know, it's what excites you. You really, I mean, when it comes to doing creative work where you're really not getting paid, at least early on, you really have to focus on what is really fun. You know, what's exciting to do, and that's the thing that you should probably think about doing. Yeah, just focus on what you're passionate about. And yeah, you may have to do more work on it later, but you know, I get excited with new projects too, but you know, there's no rule for that. Mewtwo, I've been subbed since the Oblivion days. I wanted to ask about a comment you made in a recent video. Horror stories aren't viable in a setting with internet access. Why do you think this is? It's because we're too interconnected. It's too easy to dispel the myths. It's too easy to ask for help. It's too easy to look stuff up. Everybody's in contact with each other. You can pick up your cell phone and call someone. You can text someone. Everything, really, the horror would be that like somehow you don't have access to that. So if you take someone and put them out in the woods, or like they suddenly, you know, you wake up and like your phone doesn't work and you need help, then you have to spend effort like getting people away from the safety of modern society where everything's connected and there's no mystery anymore. You don't, you know, there's urban legends don't really work when you have Wikipedia to like dispel all that. I think there's a dragon here to fight, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna save the state. I thought there was like a dragon up here. You know, it's really easy to dispel mysteries with the internet and with phones. Where's Michael? Why didn't he show up? You know, in the old days, you just kind of had to live with the mystery. Nowadays, it's like you call him and text him, and then he's like, oh, sorry, I slept in. I forgot about this thing. All right. Okay, we'll see you next time. It's all just advice. Do whatever you want to do. What is it, honey bun? Someone home? Let me let the dog back out. All right, go check it out. Come on. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, there's the dragon. All right. Let's see if we can kill him. Probably should have taken off the cursed shield, but oh well. Let's see if I can blitz him down. Steal from him. Doesn't have anything to steal. Oh, well, that's good to know. Absolute zero. Well, that pretty much killed everybody. Let's see what life 2 does. And then go from there. Should res him with more health. Oh yeah, reses him like with lots of health. Oh, that didn't do a lot there, did it? Alright, let's see if we can get some health with these guys. We could reload and like put some like some ice resist stuff on too. Would probably work as well. Life 2. Do we have Cure 2 here? Yeah. In cross. You'd best be frozen. How do I wonder how I get rid of that. I don't know how to. Oh, thank you, Mike, for the super chat. Hello, Remedy. Let's try that. Still trying to think of a villain type other than witches that women can pull off believably on film. Still trying to blank. What's up, brother? I don't know. I would say like the evil stepmother, for sure. Evil stepmothers are like real too. There's actual people who are like evil stepmothers. There we go. I think we beat him. All right. Yeah, evil stepmother. So evil stepmother is like, you know, you come in and usurp. You know, it's like a succubus, right? 5 dragons left. It's like a succubus. You come in, you usurp the family, you steal the husband's heart, and then you exile the children, the rightful heirs. You know, that stuff's very common in fairy tales for a reason, is that men would often remarry, and then, of course, the stepmother wants her children to inherit all the property, not the children from this other woman. So you got to get rid of them. Maybe you kill the man as a result. So yeah, the femme fatale, the succubus, what do you call it? The woman who like murders the man. Who am I thinking of? What am I calling her? She-Wolf or something? What am I thinking of? Oh, Black Widow. The Black Widow, right? The Black Widow is a villain type. So she seduces the man to destroy him. That's really effective. And what else is really effective? Yeah. Self-righteous Karens are popular. They could be that could. Oh, so like Umbridge from the Harry Potter book. Which Harry Potter book am I thinking of? Order of the Phoenix. So she's like the evil teacher. You know, like the Trunchbull. She's like an evil teacher that has authority over the kids. Almost like an abusive mother. She's a bureaucrat. Black Widows is the ones who kill the men. I don't know what to call like Umbridge. I don't have like a word for it. It's like the evil teacher. That could be a really good villain. I would say people hate Umbridge in Harry Potter books more than they hate Voldemort. Like, she just seems so much more evil. And like, Voldemort wants to take over the world, but she just wants to preserve the ignorance of the status quo and let everybody die. She wants to punish everybody for trying to help. Like, that feels so much worse than just fighting a regular villain. You know? To me, at least. It's intense, right? To me, it feels like way worse. Yeah, so if, you know, imagine it's like, okay, I have this way to save us all. And I know that I have this warning. And someone says, you're not allowed to do that. Like, I'm trying to think, people have probably had something like this where you had something really important to say to, like, a teacher, and the teacher wouldn't let you talk. And wouldn't let you say the important thing. And then something bad happened. Like, it's a horrible feeling. Like, that person's more villainous than just someone who's a straight villain, because they do it with the like, contentedness of their own conscience. I'll just call it the Umbridge. We'll just call it the Umbridge. The evil teacher. Yeah, Voldemorts are rare, but we meet Umbridges every day. It's like the woman at the DMV, you know? All right. See if we can steal something. What does that do? Doesn't have anything. Okay. Solve that mystery. Can't suplex him. Well, that works. Let's try. Well, that did a lot of damage. Let's try Cure. Let's try Fire 3. Yeah, moral authoritarians make for the biggest hypocrites. That too. Wow, that did a lot of damage. We have, I don't have fire yet. We'll just use regen. Do Cure 2 on yourself, bro. Fire 3. You'd best be frozen. Let's just see what... I don't know what Rasp does. Fire Dance. Fire Dance did okay. There we go. Fire, hit him with Fire 3 a couple times and he just dies. Works for me. Got 7 magic points. Oh, that's a good idea, Squirrel Lord. Yeah, if we put reflect on everybody, and then you cast fire on yourself, and then it hits him 4 times. Yeah, that works too. But he didn't. Just hitting him with fire 2 or 3 times just killed him anyway. So it's whatever. You humans freed me from that prison of ice. You possess magicite. Who are you? I sense war and destruction. Could that stupid war possibly have lasted 1,000 years? I could tell that you want to put a stop to the madness. Let's see if you are worthy. Oh, Ras burns your MP. Good thing I finished the fight quick. Got Tritok. Whoa. There's an opening in the cliff. Hop into it. Yes! Let's go! Covert narcissists do make great villains, Alberic. I agree. Any gender, though. But you call it like fragile narcissism, which is like you can't bear any kind of criticism. Anything that like disrupts your view of self is, you don't have a robust identity. Almost is what it's like. I like this music. All right. Let's find our way around this cave. Ceratops. Doesn't have anything, huh? X either. Oh! Oh, there was a hole. Ah, remember, this crap has holes everywhere. Poppers, these little squirrels. See where this goes. Where are we going? Anemone, huh? Oh, great. And none of these guys have anything to steal. Megavolt. You know, a lot of green cherries from these guys. Alright, let's backtrack a little bit because... Oh, there's... Yeah, we can't go through that hole. So we gotta go here. Kiwok and Ceratops. Let's check on our like magic learning here. All right, skills. Let's see. He's at 91% for Ultima. We're at 94% for Cure. Have we learned everything? Nope, we got Slow and Haste. And we're almost at Life 3 in Shell. Or Life 3. Once we get Life 3, we can switch it up. Oh! Another hole! Oh, there we go. Airblade's really good. Gauntlet. All right. Wicked stepmother from the live-action film Ever After was a perfect female villain. So was Ms. Balaleka from anime Black Lagoon. I haven't seen that one. Can you recommend some dark fantasy novels? I look up dark fantasy, all I get are these weird erotic novels, unless it means something else nowadays. Well, it kind of means that nowadays. That's kind of the thing. Oh, can he even do Blitz as a toad? Or as a duck or whatever he is, an imp. So yeah, dark fantasy. I mean, if you want like dark fantasy, they pretty much now call grimdark fantasy. So Malazan Book of the Fallen would probably qualify. A lot of my stuff would qualify too. I think Green Cherry gets rid of it. There we go. Black Company by Glenn Cook, one of my personal favorites. Nowadays, probably like the Elric stuff would qualify by Michael Moorcock. Well, that's just lovely. Well, the thing is that it's basically like young adult dark fantasy means like paranormal romance almost. But not necessarily like erotica. And honestly, Amazon categories are so messed up now that you can't really count on them to recommend you anything correctly in the genre. They're just really bad right now. Like everything's mixed up. The algorithm doesn't work correctly. Alright, what is... Ooh, there's a skull there. Megabolt. Yeah, I'm afraid dark fantasy has kind of drifted into like young adult vampire romance kind of stuff. But, I mean, really it should be stuff like Glenn Cook. Magicite? Remove Magicite from the eye of the carving. Yes, let's, I don't know if I want to save the state or not. Let's go to 2. Alright, here we go. Midgard Sommer. Oh, here's the Yeti. Blizzard. Really needed some like ice protection stuff on, I think. Oh well. See if he has anything to steal. Nothing. Suplex. See what Fire 3 does. Fire 3! It's getting squanchy in here. Oh, the green cherry making him flash. Power 100 times up. Defense up. Magic defense up. Speed up. Recovery up. Oh! I don't know if I need... I think I have to have Mog in the party to get him. But I don't think I could just change my party here. Yeah. I think I have to have Mog in the party here. You remember, you can play this with multiple players, by the way. It's kind of fun. Yeah. Maybe we might have to like come back in here with Mog. And actually get... get the Yeti. Not that that really matters. I guess we're going up this way. Whoa! And we're back out here. Okay. Ah, too bad. Maybe I can go out and... Man, I don't want to do all of that again. That is just too much. It's just too much. And they'll lure their friends, yeah. I don't know if I want to do all of that again to get the Yeti. Maybe I'll do it off stream or something because it's going to be boring. I could do it when... Oh, use the Moogle charm. You're right. Actually, you're right. That would make it really easy, huh? That's correct. I didn't think of that. Test Rider. Sigma learned Ultima. Quake, Quarter, and Whirlwind. Try top. Seraphim. Yeah, the main thing that we really want to learn is did we learn Life 3 yet? Maybe we learned it. Alright, we learned Life 3. Alright, so let's switch to... I suppose he can learn all that kind of stuff, because he... Oh, Phoenix. We will have her learn Ultima as well. Alright, and then in the meantime, did he learn everything here? Yeah. And he can learn Tritalk. Give him some good magic there. Alright. Just in case he needs to use it. Ah, man. I'm almost out of time for the stream anyway. I might go back and get him like off stream just so it's less boring to do all this whole level again. When I have time to play again. Alright. Save it. Alright, I think I'm going to call it there for today. Hopefully I got everybody's questions answered. Should come up with like female villains. So just do like a female villains one. Get like the stepmother, the Umbridge, the... What else is there? Yeah, stepmother, the Umbridge. What else am I thinking of here? The Black Widow, or like the Femme Fatale. Yeah, there's a bunch there. Anyway, that's probably it for today, guys. Let me relink some books here. I do appreciate the super chats, as always. I got to think of some more like female villains that work really good. Wait, what did I just link? All right, yeah. There's Shadow and Smoke. That's the newest one. Pulp Rock Collection is out. It has a novella in it by me. So, of course, you should get that. And then there's a free Gen Y book that you can read. It's all about our generation. So there's your, you know, look at the series Black Lagoon. You'll find a lot of female villains. I'm trying to think of some others. I'll just have to put some thought into it. I was going to do one this week, like another Storycraft one on using the word said to carry dialogue. Because there's some people, it's like, don't ever use anything but said. And then there's people who are like, never use said twice. You know, there's two camps on said. So I'll try to reveal some some of the mysteries therein, as far as should you use sed, should you not use sed, is it wrong to use sed, is it good to use sed? I forgot there's like lights in here. I could turn on lights. So you can see the background if you want to. All right, guys. Thanks for hopping in and hanging out with me. I'll see you all next time. Those are the books. Those are the new ones. I got more that'll come out this year. I'd like to spend some time working on game design, but we'll see how that works out. But in the meantime, I do appreciate it. And I think I got a birthday party to get to in a little bit here. So I'll see you guys later and have a great one. And yeah, if anybody's curious, I will be out of commission for a couple weeks here over the next few months because it's like the week after next. There won't be a stream because I'll be traveling. And I got to help my mom move to Texas, and then I got to move too. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be busy trying to put out books during that time, but I want to make it happen because, you can do anything that you set your mind to. You just have to focus on it. And I'll probably play some games along the way. I'll want to do a review of this Shadow Warrior game because I think it's such an interesting example of is everything modern game is Shadow Warrior 3. It's beautiful. Bright colors, looks great on like a modern display, flashy graphics, very fluid gameplay even, right? But the writing is terrible. Like, some of the dialogue is some of the worst dialogue I've ever seen in a game, for sure. It might have actually been written by someone who is autistic. Like, it's full of idioms that are improperly used or just used randomly out of context, as if the person writing out the dialogue had no idea what any of them meant. There's like a point where Liu Kang, like, he's basically the fat Thor of the Shadow Warrior series at this point. He's just a comical character instead of being a Duke Nukem kind of character. He's just more of comic relief constantly. Anyway, he's like, I hope she doesn't screw the pooch. Like, screw the pooch means to mess up something badly, right? Like, not that she actually, like, the person wrote it as if, I hope this person doesn't have sex with dogs. It's like they didn't know what they were doing. Like, the game is just full of idioms just dropped randomly and little sayings used out of context or incorrectly that just make it seem like, did a human write this dialogue? Like, why would somebody think that this was the way that you would say this? It's like, maybe they're autistic, not to insult anyone who has autism, but like, it's like they didn't know what these things meant. They never picked up on the meaning of any of these sayings. So anyway, guys, I'll probably do that one. That's what that one's all about. And then, of course, no level design. It's just you go down a couple platforming corridors that, like, you jump on some walls and jump over some platforms. And then there's an arena where you run around in circles and kill demons. And then you jump on some platforms and go down another corridor. It's basically a completely linear game. You can't even get off. If you manage to break the game and get out of the corridor, it just kills you. So, like, there's no point to exploring or anything. It's completely different from the 90s Shadow Warrior, where you have these big labyrinthine levels where you go around exploring, trying to find secrets and, goofing off and finding out what's interactive in the game and that kind of stuff. All that's missing. It's just, in fact, the optimal way to play the game is literally to ignore everything except to just go in a straight line as quickly as possible. And if you just do that, you'll probably finish the game in like 4 hours. And that's not a lot of game time. It's fun. Like, the running around in arenas slaughtering demons is very fun and flashy, and it looks great. But there's just not a lot of design to the levels. There's just not much to it. It's just and the encounters are, here's a bunch of bad guys, kill them. Oh, here's some environmental stuff you can use. That's kind of fun. It's kind of like Serious Sam. It's very Serious Sam. So it's like I feel like they put all their effort into making really pretty, crazy looking environments, and then didn't really think about having a level that someone would explore. It's a corridor. Kind of weird. Anyway, that's it, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great one.